Hello, this is Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind Stamped AF. I'm just going to get you in the phone mount. For those of you watching, I don't know if you've ever gone live on Facebook, but in order to get it landscape, you have to type in your whatever it is, like your title basically, and then you have to type it sideways. So that's what I was trying to do quickly. Oh, hey Sandy. Thank you for joining. I'm just pulling it up on my iPad. Sorry, I am late. My daughter came home with a blizzard and it was leaking everywhere. So basically standing over the sink, devouring blizzard so it doesn't all spill everywhere. My son's is everywhere. Just as I went live, I saw that Allison Okamitsu is going live at the same time, so I'm not expecting my numbers to be so hot tonight. If you wouldn't mind passing this along, that would be fantastic. If you have been watching my Facebook Lives, you know that on Tuesdays until the new catalog launch, I will be featuring new product, and on Wednesdays it's retiring product. So tonight is new product, and we are using Free as a Bird and the stitched nested dies, which are part of this bundle. And while I love these dies, like totally in love, I do wish that there were dies that actually cut out the birds. Because I did a little bit of fussy cutting before the video, I did not want you to sit there and have to watch me cut this out, so you're welcome for that. So I think I'm just gonna get to it because I have a blizzard waiting for me, and while I'm not supposed to have dairy, sometimes I make the active decision to have it anyways, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna flip this around. Sorry for the bit of shake there. I've got some previously loved grid paper. The other side is a lot more colorful. I'm working on like 9 million things right now. I've got my new catalog kickoff and BOGO sale on Saturday, June 8th. So I am working on samples for that and stuff to go with my new catalogs, which ship today. So they should be here. I think, what's today, Tuesday? I want to say they're here like next Tuesday, perhaps Wednesday. I don't remember, to be honest. I just know that they're on their way because when I saw the UPS thing, I'm like, 25 pounds, what did I order? Catalogs. So if you follow my blog or Instagram or Facebook, if you don't, please do. But if you do, you probably notice that I am like addicted to these brushes right now. Addicted. So tonight is no exception. I'm going to use that again. And I had something all planned to show you. Oh my goodness. It's a train wreck. I had something all planned to show you, and then I saw another demonstrator shared it in the planning place, and I don't want to copy it. I mean, I had it in my head already, but I don't want to copy someone's work. So I'm changing it up because initially I was going to use the brick. Oh, maybe we could do that. Let's leave it at this. So these are the laser cut specialty sheets, and I got them as part of Celebration because I didn't have them yet. So now I've got all these sheets, and I thought I'm going to use them as masks because why not? So I'm just going to tape these down ever so gently, and I'm not going to ask a ton of questions tonight, but what would you like the sky to be? Balmy blue or Seaside Spray? Seaside Spray is one of the brand new in colors, and if you haven't seen those yet, I have showed them on a couple of previous lives, but I was punching some flowers from the new Floral Essence bundle today, and like, how cute are those? So cute, right? I just want to see if you can see it. It's not that well lit, is it? Kathleen says Seaside Spray. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards too, and I wouldn't have thought that it was as kind of purpley as it is until I saw it next to Balmy Blue. I was going to show you, so these are the new in colors. Terrible lighting going on. Okay, so that is Pretty Peacock. Oh, now my lighting is totally messed up. I'm just going to cover this for 2 seconds so it resets the lighting. Sorry. Oh no, it still did it. Okay, well, it's going to shift a couple times probably. So those are the 4 of the colors. Now, Stampin' Up! Did announce earlier this week that they have had reports of some issues with the Purple Posy, so they have pulled that for the time being. This is a terrible representation of these colors because they really are not like this. That's a little bit better. So Purple Posy has been pulled ink-wise until they figure out what's going on. So unfortunately, there's that, but there's still cardstock available. And I believe, don't quote me, but I am thinking that what is going to happen is anyone that's already got the Purple Posy will probably end up getting a replacement because it's just not... It's not up to Stampin' Up! Standards. And, you know, I heard a demonstrator say yesterday in a business presentation that she is so happy to work for a company that they don't wait for someone to bring it to their attention. They're like, you know what? We don't care. They proactively pulled it because they were concerned that there was a quality issue. So good on them. Okay, so we have a couple more people jumping on now. So one more vote. What do we think? Balmy Blue or Seaside Spray for the sky? What's its be? Hi, Shannon. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, Seaside Spray, Balmy Blue. We're going to use this as our mask, and then I've got a little extra surprise for after that. Okay, I just need 2, maybe 3 more votes. Okay, looks like Seaside Spray it is. And why not? It's a brand new color. Let's give it a shot. So the one stamp at a time, no, sorry, wrong one. The What Will You Stamp blog hop went live yesterday, and I did, oh Shannon, you're gonna throw a wrench into my plan. I shared this card for the What Will You Stamp challenge yesterday. Hi Diana from Barbados, I'm so jealous. Barbados was my first trip ever out of North America, so super jealous. I used blending brushes for this, so seriously addicted. And they seem to be sold out everywhere. These are just cheap Dollarama ones, but I mean, I'm not spending like 50 bucks on quality makeup brushes. Thank you, Wendy. We're going to start ever so lightly. And now if I had some kind of adhesive, spray adhesive, I would use that for my mask, but I do not. So I'm just going to kind of hold it down. And this could take a few minutes to build up some color. I do find that the advantage to using the brushes over sponges or the ink blending tools, like the Ranger ones, I think it is you don't get any harsh lines. Now, I'm just hoping that I'm not going too close to the edge down here. So how is everyone's week going? I'm still fighting off a cold that I've been fighting for weeks, and at this point I'm just like, come on already. Either come or completely go away. I don't want you anymore. Thank you for that, Karen. Apparently there can be some issues when we say that actual word, so I'm not gonna say it. But I thank you, because doing that is caring. I said that to my boss yesterday. One of my coworkers was sick, and I said, yeah, my throat's getting kind of sore. And he said, well, you guys just share too much. And I said, well, sharing is caring. And he kind of looked at me like I was nuts. Okay, so I think that should be a good base. With these detailed laser sheets, you can use any of the patterns as a mask. I think the only one I wouldn't recommend, because it is finicky as anything, is, well, the edges, the borders. This one would be super cute. I actually thought about that, but then I'm like, well, there wouldn't be flowers in the sky. This one would be super cute, but again, flowers, sky. And if you notice, it's very vanilla on one side and whisper wet on the other. This one is so stinking cute, but also so stinking finicky. I think if you had a spray adhesive, you could use this one, but I mean, they break super easy. I thought about this one too. I thought that would be cute. And then that one, kind of cute. I don't know if it's supposed to be cogs or what, but it might go nice with geared up garage. Anyway, these sheets are retiring. There is a new batch of them coming in, but it took me this long to get these ones, so you can imagine how long it'll take me to get the other ones. Just want to make sure I've gotten into all these little dots. Okay, let's peel it away. I feel like I talk my way through these whole things, but I guess that's kind of part of it, right? So I realized that some of the videos I enjoy the most, the YouTube videos that I watch, I don't think I can zoom in anymore. Can I? I don't think so. I'm going to cover this one more time and see if it will reset the color. No such luck. I don't know why it is so dark on this side. Let's leave it right about there. Of course, the lamp wants to keep going down. What was I talking about? Oh, so some of the best videos that I have watched and I enjoy are the ones where there is a story. And especially, I mean, I watch them through anyways. I tend to speed them up because, I mean, I only have so much time. But the ones that kind of tell a story while they're crafting, I love them. So I thought, I'm going to give that a try tonight. And while I do that, I'm just going to take, there's a little bit of ink that went rogue on the side. So I'm just using my mono sand eraser. And I got this from Amazon. And just wipe it. Because you could actually take the finish off of your cardstock if you go too hard. Okay, story. So I'm not sure how many people know this, but I have a son with special needs. He is 20 years old, and I can tell you that him turning 18 was probably the hardest time of his life for me. So all the things that change, his father and I, who are divorced, we had to apply to become his substitute decision maker. So I'm like, okay, I've been his parent his entire life, and all of a sudden I have to apply to continue to make his decisions and care for him. But anyways, you go for a criminal record check, you go for adult and child abuse registry, and there's all of these things that you go through, and basically you're applying to continue to be the caregiver. So I'm just gonna wipe away any of this remaining ink. So long story short, we are his substitute decision makers. There was a hearing that we had to go through, and etc., etc., etc. But he gets money through EI. He is still in high school. He gets money through EI. With the Vulnerable Persons Commission, we have to account for any money spent. So anytime he buys anything, like a Slurpee he bought today, he has to have a receipt for that. So he's not independent by any means. The school wanted him to apply for this program. I guess I should craft while I'm talking, right? Okay, so I am taking my very hideous cloud stencil. Let's just say there was a glitter embossing paste incident. So this is what I'm left with. So he has applied for this project search, which would have him working at a local hospital. He would have to take public transportation there, and it's a whole process. And as his mother, it is terrifying because he's never gone anywhere by himself. Like, when he was a little bit younger and playing on the front street, I was terrified the entire time. Like, this kid doesn't go outside by himself. He doesn't go places. So the people in charge of this program said, you know what, you're no different than any other parent. Like, every other kid that's come through this program, their parents have had the same concerns, and it's always worked out just fine. So it got to the point where I'm like, you know what, I need to trust these professionals with my son's life and just get over it. I mean, we don't want to rob him of this amazing opportunity because we're scared. So we had this information meeting, and by the end of it, I felt a whole lot better. My son met the coordinator of the program, and then the following week he went for an interview. And it's not like a guaranteed thing. Like, he actually has to go for an interview, like with work experience. He works at 2 different stores. Well, not 2 stores now. He works at a he works at a retirement living complex 3 days a week, and he does stuff in the kitchen and dining room. And then he also just started at IKEA. So, he actually has to go for interviews. It's not just these fluff interviews where he's guaranteed the job. Like, he's got to answer the questions. He's got to know his stuff. So, I was going to say long story short, but long story still long. They decided that to get him taking public transportation by himself in September, that we better start taking some steps. So they wanted him to start walking home from school after school, and they wanted him to start walking in the morning. And I'm like, oh my God, like, how's this gonna work? So hubby went and got him a key. It's a camouflage key on a camouflage lanyard, and my son is addicted to all things military. You know what? I was going to put Wink of Stella on here, but I think I should probably let this craft ink dry a little bit. He is absolutely addicted to all things military, so it was just the sweetest thing. And I think we'll use balmy blue for the birds, maybe with a little bit of, crumb cake. So day 1 of his walk went perfect. The resource teacher sent me an email and said, you know, I saw him when he got to school. He was so incredibly proud of himself. So she said, you know what, we're ready to start supporting him every day. Now, I should say that an EA meets him about a block away from our house. So no more school bus. The EA meets him, and then they walk to school, because my son is not aware of his own safety. He's not aware of the danger by not looking both ways. And it's not for lack of trying. There's a cognitive delay. So he walked to and from school yesterday. He texted me when he got home. He's like, Mom, I am exhausted. Like, I haven't walked that much in I don't know how long. So he was tired yesterday, but he did it. So I'm like, oh my goodness, he's growing up. I'm trying to think, do I want to do the blue on the outside? Let's do the blue on the belly. So my boy's growing up. Now, I will get better at these little storytelling things. It's kind of hard to focus. But that is the story. So 21 was always going to be his last year of school. Because of his funding and his special needs, he could be in school until he was 21, and that was always the plan. He did graduate with his peers. He didn't have all of his credits at the time, but I mean, the plan was always for him to graduate with his peers. So next year, which was supposed to be his last year of high school, will now be spent at a local hospital, and he can choose between a whole number of departments, whole number of things that he wants to do. So it's big steps. My daughter turns 18 in just a couple of weeks. Like, oh. Okay, not loving that blue in there. So my daughter has decided that she wants to be a respite worker. My son has had respite workers in the past. We haven't had one in a few years because we haven't needed it. But she has decided that that's what she wants to do. And unfortunately, she can't apply until she's 18. So she's got all the steps figured out. She needs to get a criminal record check. She needs to get those same registries that I needed to get. So my babies are growing up. Not my favorite, I can't speak. Not my favorite coloring I've ever done, but I also didn't have a picture of these birds to compare against. So maybe what I will do is use a little bit of color lifter to kind of get some highlight in there. I don't know, are there brown and blue birds? Probably. I am missing my dark old olive, I think. Nope. So this is just some quick and dirty coloring. I add in my shadows. For those of you that are in the area and can attend my catalog kickoff party and BOGO, it is confirmed for Saturday, June 8th. The time is to be determined, but I've ordered some cute things for it. Ordered some customizable postcard invitations. My catalogs have shipped today. So you will be able to get those. For the members of my stamp club, they will get it the weekend prior. I am thinking of ordering some cute little cookies. So I'll lure you here with food. And I have placed my third, yes, you heard it right, third pre-order order. I feel like we need some Calypso coral in here. So today's order was something that was on back order and then low inventory, and I'm like, okay, one, how does that happen? And then two, I'm like, okay, not missing the opportunity, so I ordered it today and I expedited it. I'm telling you, the FOMO is real. I was not going to get this bundle because everyone is showing it, and I'm like, it doesn't need any more attention. And then I worked with it on Sunday because for the catalog launch that I'm doing, I need to come up with samples, and I didn't have this bundle, and it is incredible. So, have to have it. That, and I've got no self-control. Can anyone relate? Okay, I think that's as good as those little bird bellies are gonna get. I'm gonna quit messing with them before I completely mess it up. Now, I don't have Seaside Spray blends, but what I can do, so that this white isn't quite as obvious, I could have cut it right up to the flowers and leaves, but meh. And also, you know, if you were die cutting these, you would get that little bit of white. So I have come to learn, or to discover, I'm sure I'm not the first one to discover it, but if you color those lines with whatever your background is, it's not so obvious. And I saw this on a video last week that I was watching, and I'm like, I'm not the only one. So this way you don't have to worry about close cropping these branches and flowers. You just color it all in as if it's the sky or whatever background. Because I mean, if you don't have a sky in your picture, it would look funny to color it with the sky. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Shannon. Diana. So one of the bundles that I used on Sunday is one of the ones that I'm doing for our samples, and oh my. I thought just getting the Memories and More pack would be enough, but nope. So after I placed this order that I really shouldn't have placed because it's the third pre-order since last Thursday, not planning very well here. I'm going on gut and want versus need. Never a good thing. I decided I didn't need the Memories and More kit if I've got the stamp set and dies. So at least some self-control, right? Thank you for that, Jenny. I'm sorry if I'm not keeping up. The comments only have one at a time on my iPad. So if a couple come in at a time, then I'm missing them. So I'm just kind of, yeah, it is tough, Wendy, to trust other people. But I have said right from the get-go that we have always been very well resourced. He has never gone without. I know that there are a lot of people that cannot say that. So we were able to get him the diagnosis that he needed in order to have the supports that he has, and hashtag blessed. And for a lot of years, I blamed myself for his disability, but now I'm getting all teary. There's nothing I can do. So if it was something that I did, then it's done and there's no going back. But I can't focus on that because it makes me all emotional. Progress, not perfection. You're right. Absolutely right. Now, I probably could have left this part white because now it looks like we have that little bit there. Where do we want these? I'm going to end up covering up this little cloud. Maybe. Kind of thinking there. Now, I was thinking... Oh, thank you, Wendy. I was thinking we would do a little sentiment because the sentiments in this suite are adorable. So this one in particular, I'm not a fan of. We're the best of friends. Are we though? Like, what if you give this to someone and they're like, no. Yeah, you're not my bestie. I really love The World Needs More of You, and your friendship means the world to me. So I think let's do Your Friendship Means the World to Me. I really love that one. And I think we can probably stamp it right on there, but the other thing we could do is use one of these stitched nested dies. And now this sample that I saw, that I'm like, darn it, she beat me to it. She kind of had the stitched die over there, and then the birds kind of went like that. Now I think if I go that high, we're going to cover that cloud too, and I don't want to do that. I may end up adding some more clouds when all is said and done, and then I'll post a picture of it. But I need just a little piece of... Maybe we can use the DSP. I need to get a new printer because I want to make labels for these. This is how I'm storing my annual catalog DSP this year. Now, these all have a beautiful, soft yet bright palette on one side, and then some of them are quite vibrant on the other side. It's a little bit too much pink. That's too bright. Nothing really in there, but I have more DSP. So let's try this one. This is the one that goes with the Perennial Essence suite. And it's, if you like Monet, this will be right up your alley. Beautiful soft floral prints. And I don't know what happened because I never used to be a floral girl, but my goodness, Stampin' Up! Knocks it out of the park with their florals, don't they? Because, I mean, if you can convince someone who is not a floral-loving person to get florals, and someone whose business name is mine, yeah. Okay, so we could do something like that, although I'm thinking that maybe plain is better. The colors in the Follow Your Art really won't go, neither will this one. So let's just grab a scrap piece of something. Kind of thinking we should have something neutral there. Right, Wendy? It's a beautiful set. Okay, I'm just gonna run this through my Big Shot, and I'm not gonna move everything around because my desk is a mess right now. So I shared, I'm doing a Stamparatus online class, and I shared that information late last week. And I decided yesterday that I'm going to change up my class schedule a little bit for May 25th. I had thought of doing a Butterfly Gala, and then I thought, oh, maybe I'll just offer the Stamparatus class in person. And I have now decided that I am going to do an online / in-person class with Piece of Cake. So I had designed an online class a few months ago and never really did anything with it. But now I have redesigned, and I am so loving the samples. I have 2 more samples to put together, and then I can advertise this. But for those of you that are local, I will have that class on May 25th. It is a product-based class. I can't speak. So what that means is you will have a couple of different options for purchasing, and you can choose your level. So if you already have the bundle, obviously you don't need my top tier bundle. So I'm hoping to get these last 2 samples done tonight, and then I can post it all tomorrow because the deadline is going to be pretty small, pretty tight, whatever. That wasn't the straightest, but I didn't want to put my head in the shot, so good enough. Just going to kind of hold this up so I know where to trim it. I'm not sure if you can hear all the banging in the background, but my daughter has decided that she needs to move her room, change it around. She went to IKEA today, and things'll be a-changin'. Okay, not sure if I'm digging this all crooked like this, but I do want to keep it plain. I think if we put blue on there, it's going to be too much. Well, I don't have a whole lot of scraps cut. So let's just make this work. I do think we need 1 more little flower, so I may just stamp and cut that on a little scrap. But let's get this. I don't want to glue this down yet because I know as soon as I do, I'm going to change my mind on something. So we can kind of have this where it's off, covering all my clouds. Should we do the tiny flower or the big one? I think I have more than one scrap, so let's do both. I'm going to do these in Memento because I do want to be able to color them. Oh, okay, this cold is coming on. At this point, I welcome it. It's been so many weeks of fighting it. Like, just come on already. I don't have a class this weekend. It is both Mother's Day and National Scrapbooking Day, and a couple of my friends won't be around for classes because they'll be at a crop. So I thought, well, let's take the weekend off. So if I'm gonna get a cold, it should really be this week because I got a ton to do. So this week, no class. Next week, no class because one, it's the Victoria Day long weekend. Actually, one, it's my daughter's 18th birthday, and two, it's a Victoria Day long weekend, and no one's gonna be around. So I figured there's really not much point. Hopefully there's enough in here. Oh, I will try that right after my blizzard, Karen. Can't waste a blizzard, and it's my favorite. I'm going to tell you what my favorite is, and then I would love to hear what your favorite is. And for those of you in Australia, I'm not sure if you have Dairy Queen, but it's just ice cream. Not just. It's ice cream. And like I said, well, I'm not supposed to have dairy. There are some things where you make the decision and you live with the consequences. Oh, so my favorite, squirrel, is cookie dough with a bit of score in it. You pay extra, but so worth it. You make your own ice cream, Karen? Wowza. Okay, so what's your favorite homemade kind? As soon as I hear homemade, I think of the movie It's Complicated with Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin, where they were married, they got divorced, then they have an affair, and he comes over for dinner and she makes his favorite, and the dessert is honey lavender ice cream. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. Makes you want to run out and make your own ice cream. Except I didn't. And for me, with the dairy thing, it's not the lactose, it's the whey. So I can't even get like lactose-free dairy and have that make a huge difference. But it seems to be hit or miss. And if I really limit the rest of it, I used to be allergic to cheese, so still not a huge fan. So I can pretty much eliminate cheese. And then when I want to have ice cream, it's not so bad. Okay, all our bits and pieces are done. So let's get to assembling this. I still am reluctant to attach this because I just know what's going to happen. Okay, if we kind of put that there, I lose both of those clouds. So let's do it so that it's kind of over here. I'm gonna glue this part. Whoa. And then, oh, that was kind of dumb. I'm just gonna pop some dimensionals here, there, everywhere. Oh, I have a fun little poll for you. Excuse me. Mini dimensionals or full-size dimensionals? Which ones do you go through more of? I was surprised by my stash's answer to this question. Okay, so let's pop that. Move this one up just a little bit. Okay, that one's decided staying glued. Shannon says full-size dimensionals. Who else? Who else has got an answer for me? Okay, now this is going to pop up on dimensionals as well, but we're going to use full size for that one. Three ought to be okay. Wendy says full. That's 2 for full, none for minis. Okay, now before I place this down, I want to make sure that I'm not losing all my clouds here. So, and that I'm also right at the edge on this side. So if I place it here, I can still see that one. I can still see this one. I'm not sure how much of the clouds you can actually see. Oh, there you can. So I've buried the one that was down here, but we've still got that one and that one. And I could probably work in one more down here, now that it's all done, of course. But I'm kind of thinking if we put one big flower there, it kind of hides the fact that the branch doesn't go all the way to the end. And then maybe one there. Yeah, let's do that. I would pop it up on dimensionals, except that it already is popped up there. So let's just hold that down for a second, turn it so that it's covering that weird little spot. Put some on here. Where's my take your pick tool? I was saying in a video that I never use this thing because it's in my my kit bag. So I'm like, well, why don't I take it out and actually use it? And when I was doing my fun little floral essence punches today, I'm sure I'm not the only one to know this, but so I stamped them, and then I would put a dot of glue on one, and then I would pick up the other and go like that, and voila. So I wasn't trying to finnick is a word, right? Because these are curled up now, but they weren't initially, so all I would do is go like that. And the other thing I learned, kind of by accident, and this was a little while ago, this wasn't recently, if you have a punch that is kind of too small to fit and you don't want to pull out a Post-it, say it's this little cake, and you don't have this piece to try and maneuver it, use your take your pick tool to move it around where you need it. Full of tips. Okay. Something is missing. I'm going to take okay, so it looks like full is, oh, Diana missed the question. Full or mini dimensionals, which do you go through faster? Which is your go-to? Okay, this is just a clear glaze pen, but I do always have a hard time getting this one going. So with, this is a Jennifer McGuire-ism. Whenever I have animals, I like to use my black Sakura glaze pen and just add a little dot and you'd be amazed at how it brings it to life. So sorry if my head's in here, but there's no way I can do these little eyeballs without it. Let's see if we can get the clear one going, and then we'll do their little beaks too. It just, it adds something, some life to it. It can be easy to overdo it. I'm just doing a little bit on these flowers. We'll pretend it just rained a little bit. Okay, so that is it. Not a super basic card. I actually like the way it looks better through the camera. But that's it. So this kind of evolved as I went tonight. It wasn't entirely planned out in my head, but I am pretty darn happy with how this turned out. So just know that you can use these masks. Well, they're not masks. You can use that delicate, I don't even know what they're called, the laser edge papers. You can use them as a mask. And this doesn't have a whole lot of blue on it, but you could just take a baby wipe and wipe any of that color off. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that if you haven't already, you have liked my page. And stay tuned for a video tomorrow night with retiring product. I've got that project pretty much planned in my head. Haven't done it on paper, so I'll try and have a sample done, or at least a better idea tomorrow. So that is all for tonight, my crafty friends. I thank you for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Oh, my dimensional stash is going quick with minis too. And on that note, we will see you soon, friends. Bye.